It's time to find out if you're crazy. Let's check some inventory here. Problem number 13 had 1 nitrogen, 3 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens on the reactant side. 1 nitrogen, 2 hydrogen, and 2 oxygens over here on the product side. Looks like hydrogens are a big pain in the butt, but we can handle that. Alright, so 2 and 3. I don't have any way to make 3 into 2, or 2 into 3, but I do know that they have a least common multiple of 6. If I put a 3 in front of my water, that gives me 6 hydrogens, and a 2 in front of the NH3, that guy's ammonia, that gives me 6 hydrogens. That does affect my other inventories. Here I now have 2 nitrogens, and over here I'm messing with my oxygen total. I have 3 plus 1 more for 4 oxygens. So I'll look at what else doesn't match. Nitrogens don't match. Well, I'm going to put a 2 in front here. That will fix my nitrogens. I have to update my oxygen inventory. I have 2, and here I have another 3 for a total of 5 oxygen. Now wait a minute. There's nothing I can put right here that would give me 5. Well, wait, I guess I could put 2.5 there. That would give me 5. Wait a minute. That's not allowed, because we can't have half of an oxygen molecule floating around. However, I did just find the correct ratio. 2, 2.5, 2 to 3. Since this is a 0.5, I'm going to use that information to keep my ratio. I'm going to double everything. Remember, I wrote the numbers. I can erase them. I'm going to double this. So instead of 2, I now have 4 NH3s. Instead of 2.5 oxygens, I'm going to update that. And now I have 5 of them. And my NOs, let's erase that bad boy. Instead of 2, I have 4 now for my nitrogen monoxide. And for water, instead of 3, I have 6. Now that does mean that my inventories are all messed up. But we can count them. 4 nitrogens and 4 nitrogens. That's pretty good. Let's move on to hydrogen. 4 times 3 for 12. Over here I have 6 times 2 for 12. Pretty good. And now oxygen. I have 10 on the left of the arrow, and I have 4 plus another 6 for 10 on the right of the arrow. It's taken care of. Because I found the correct ratio, and then I doubled it to get whole numbers, I'm in good shape. That's a little trick that'll come in handy again later on. The next one, my inventory, 2 aluminum, 3 sulfur. Oxygens, I have 12 here from the 3 groups of sulfate, another 2 there for 14. I can already tell that's going to be a pain. Calcium, I have 1, and 2 tiny little hydrogens. On the right over here, I have 1 aluminum and 1 sulfur. My oxygens, I have 3 oxygens from the hydroxide group, and 4 from the sulfate for a total of 7. 1 calcium, and my hydrogens, I have 3. So many issues in here, so many things to keep track of, and the real trick is going to be that oxygen, because he's in every compound. That's okay. Let's look at the first that doesn't match. I see that the sulfurs don't match and the aluminums don't match. I'm going to start with aluminum. 2 there fixes my aluminum. That does change my oxygen and hydrogen inventories. For oxygen here, I've got 2 groups of 3 for 6 oxygen. Plus another 4 there gives me 10 total. It changes my hydrogens. I have 2 groups of 3 for 6 hydrogens. So that didn't really help me with oxygen and hydrogen, but it did take care of my aluminum. Now let's try the sulfurs. I have 3 on the left, on the reactant side. I'm going to put a 3 here on the right. That fixes my sulfur problem. Gives me 3 of those. It does, however, change a few other things. Alright? It changes my calcium. I have 3 calciums here now. Okay, just update my inventory. I have 3 times 4 for 12 oxygen here, plus the 6 that I'm still getting from over here. So now I have 18 oxygen. Cancel failure. There we go. 18 oxygen. Well, we're getting closer. Let's look at the calcium next. 3 calciums on the right, only 1 on the left. So I'll put a coefficient 3 here, and that fixes my calcium. It does mean I've got to update oxygen and hydrogen again. For my oxygens, I have 3 times 4 for 12 there. Plus I have another 3 times 2, 6 there. I have 18 oxygens over here. My hydrogens, I have 3 groups of 2 for 6. And you notice once that happens, everything's taken care of. The thing that made this problem really difficult was keeping track of oxygens and hydrogens. Remembering that every time I put a coefficient in, just cross out my oxygen and hydrogen total and recount. Don't try to multiply in our inventory list. Recount and build your inventory list. And then number 15. C8H10, good old octane, reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. One of the reactions we can get from that. 8 carbons, 10 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens. 1, 2, and 3. 3 oxygens because I have 2 in the carbon dioxide and 1 in the water. So let's start with carbon. I need 8 of those, so an 8 coefficient in front of CO2 will do it. That does change my oxygen totals though. Now I have 16 plus 1 for 17 oxygens. Don't panic yet though, kids, because we still have hydrogen to go. 10 and 2. If I put a 5 right here, that gives me 10 hydrogens. It does change my oxygen total. 5 oxygen here, plus 8 times 2 for 16 there gives me 21. Let's see. 2 oxygens on the left, but I need 21. Well, sure it'd be nice if I could put 10 and a half, 10.5 there, right? Because that would work mathematically. That'd give me the 21 I need. But we can't have that half an oxygen. Remember on number 13, we had a solution for that. Anytime a 0.5, in this case 10.5, gives you what you need, go ahead and write it down, and then double everything. This becomes a 2. 10.5 becomes 21. The 8 in front of the carbon dioxide becomes 16. And the 5 in front of the water becomes 10. So those coefficients, sorry my eraser didn't work any better there, kiddos. We have 2, 21, 16, and 10. Oh, sloppy. Let's double check our inventory to make sure we didn't screw anything up. 16 carbons and 16 carbons. 20 hydrogens, 20 hydrogens. 21 times 2 for 42 oxygen. Well, here's 16 times 2, that's 32. That's another 10, gives me 42. And that's good because that's double my previous inventory. Since I just doubled everything, that should work out best. Now, I'm going to give you a hint for number 16 and 17. Are you ready? Your hint for those, they're really, really difficult. Yeah, good luck.